So a franchise is a type of license. A licensor is going to give the right to a licensee to use their business model. So as a franchisor, say McDonald's, I'm going to allow McDonald's franchisees to use my know-how, use my branding, use all the vendors that I've created, potentially rent my space, and I'm going to be the landlord as well. But essentially, you're lending a business model that hopefully is a successful business model, but not always the case, to a franchisee for a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year period. That's essentially what franchising is. It's a type of licensing where you're lending your business model, and potentially there's a distributor that's going to distribute your services or your goods.
Cool. So I come from the restaurant side of the world, so I understand that there's a lot of restaurant franchises. Are there other types of businesses that offer franchises besides restaurants?
For sure. Yeah. So quick service and full service restaurants account for like 40% the franchise businesses in the United States. The other 60% are anything from education, healthcare, real estate, property management, really across the gamut.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you want to get into franchising, what kind of person does it appeal to? Like, what should you understand if you want to walk into franchising about it that you may not think?
I would say if you're super entrepreneurial, very, very creative, always a new idea, and you're always looking to, create the next big thing, franchise is not for you. It's more about executing the business plan that should have been proven. And people from former military veterans are amazing franchisees, as well as working at the franchise wars. But it's really about executing and taking calculated risk based on what's happened with the other franchisees in the historic. So you have a ton of data for people that are interested in maybe levering up through SBA loans or other financing mechanisms. And you really want to analyze, as much information as possible. There's a ton of information in the franchising space. So it's that type of person that's willing to just execute the plan, and you can contribute feedback. But at the end of the day, you are signing up for a business model, and you should be willing to execute that business model. And if you're uncertain in any way, don't sign that franchise agreement and don't commit to that 10-year term.
Makes sense. So could you give us an example? Let's say I live in the UK and there's a particular franchise that I like and can see myself running. Maybe we could use even like a specific company if you like, just to really kind of make it easy to understand how it is beneficial to go through a franchise, getting a visa versus like starting my own restaurant somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Definitely. So as especially Dave knows, the restaurant space is so location dependent. So it's nice to have those checks of not only the local realtor that's helping you, that has a bit of an agency issue. He just wants he's going to want you to sign and get his commission. But with franchising, you have that long-term partner, essentially 10 years where, yes, they'll get a franchise fee, but they're going to make most of their money from the royalties that they collect over that 10-year period. So they're going to want to make sure that you have good sales and that you're making money. And they're incentivized that you choose the right location on the right block. And you have essentially, there's a common saying, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So I think a nice transition, smooth landing to the United States. If you're not already doing business in the US, you don't already have, basically US experience of franchising is a tremendous opportunity. And even if you're selling to the US market, say through e-commerce, or you're just investing in US stocks, that's not a good fit for the investor visa. It has to be a real operational business with US employees. So depending on what you do, the franchise can really serve as the anchor for your visa. And you can work with an attorney to kind of set up a holding company, family office that did this investment in a franchise. And you also do consulting. You also have an e-commerce site. A lot of our clients get into e-commerce, or they had a prior experience in e-commerce where they want to be in the US mostly for their kids' education. They use the franchise as the anchor, but then they have other business activities that aren't a good fit for the E2 visa, whether it's minimal capital required or you don't have the US employees.